You want to remove piston rings and not damage anything. Meantime, not use special pliers. It's possible if you know how to do it. Today, I'll show you how to remove piston rings. Use just filler gauge only. Patrick's Garage. Grab your snack, welcome back. And here is pistons for my car. This is not pistons for air compressor with low tensile piston rings. And old filler gauges will be really helpful in these deals. And we want to choose a really flexible. And for our removing and installation process of piston rings, we need only 3 of them. And if you car owner, probably you have these filler gauges. And in general, our purpose to pull out the piston rings from its groove. And we want to choose appropriate. It can bend around the piston and flexible enough. So I choose 3 of them, which I prefer to use. And their designation .0015, .002, .0025. And we insert 3 of them behind the ring. Thinnest gauge I inserted opposite the gap of the ring, so it not touches the second ring. Thinnest filler gauge which I'm using .0015. And one of them stays in its place, right opposite the gap. But another 2 of them we're dragging to the ends of our ring. Their destination will be under the ends of our ring. We want to pull out our ring from its groove, so we're dragging them simultaneously. One filler gauge stays in its place, but 2 of them we want to drag into the ends of our ring. They should be right under the ends of our ring. Here is 2 of our gauges. They're a little bit thicker than this one which opposite the gap. But here is 2 of them with thickness 0.002 and 0.0025. And they should be in proper position, so we're easily can lifting the ring to the top. And our purpose to pull out the ring from its groove. And the main thing that we're dragging this is 2 gauges simultaneously. We insert 3 of them at one position, right opposite the gap. One stays in its place, and 2 of them we dragging to the ends of our ring, you see. And you see thinnest of them, which I choose the 0.0015 in millimeters, it's 0.04 millimeters. Another little bit thicker 0.002 in millimeters, it will be 0.05 millimeters. And third, it's 0.0025, which will be measurements in millimeters, 0.06 millimeters. But you can choose best matches for you. Thing is, they wrapped the surface a little bit, and they can easily flexible. So when they in its position, we easily lifting our ring to the top. Cautiously, of course. We don't want to spoil anything. And this is top ring mark M. This is manufacturer of our rings, of our pistons. And we want to install them to the same position. This is designation especially for this. The same procedures you want to accomplish with ring number 2. And we put our filler gauges, one of them opposite the gap, 0.0015, and 2 of them we drag into the ends of our ring, 0.002 and 0.0025, and they approached the gaps. They should be right under the ends of this ring. So we don't want to scratching our piston. This piston made out of aluminum, very soft material. We don't want to rush. We want to make our job correctly without any damages. So now this our filler gauge right under the ends of our ring. Ring number, this is second ring, number 2, compression ring, second compression ring, yes. Without any chromed surfaces like was with number 1 compression ring, but we want to lift up this ring cautiously. And we are removing these rings through the top of our piston. Here you see also designation. I'll show you. Here is our manufacturer. You see, this should be on the top. We don't want to confuse when we're going to install these rings into its place. There is a relatively flexible rings you can want to choose, which you have from what you have. Put them into its position, thinnest to the opposite of the gap, and 2 of them we dragging simultaneously to the ends of our ring. They should be right under the ends of our ring. These rings can be really sharp, so you don't want to cut your fingers, and really cautious when you're lifting them, when you're dragging these filler gauges. They can be really sharp at the edges. You want to be really cautiously you want to put them right under the edge of the ring. This ring number 3, this is oil ring, oil scrapper ring, they can call this ring. This is ring number 3. This ring consists from one part. They can be with extensioners, which consist from 3 rings, oil ring I mean, but here is one ring as a unit. So we work with this ring the same way, like with previous 2 rings. And here is at the edge our ring, and we realize our ring, and here also you noticed the mark letter M, manufacturer of our rings. And here is in groove, you see a little bit rust. This is my purpose, to clean these grooves, And here is designation of our ring. This means second rebuild, second repair. You can notice the wrist a little bit closer to one side of the engine, and you can easily notice this. So slot mark on the top should be to the front or directed to the front of the engine, so you don't want to avoid noises and misconceptions. This is slot mark you noticed on the top of the pistons. So today we learn how, without any difficulties, remove our piston rings and not damage these rings because they are really expensive.
Now, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. Click the subscribe button and notifications bell, so that way you can be notified as soon as I upload new videos about car repairing.